Um, this is about the missing sub that went to see the Titanic. And one thing I really noticed was somehow everybody's reaction sounds like they are scientists or they knew the inside detail of it. And I click on this video because I'm hoping he's going to say something about why he thinks that sub is unsafe. But all I get was like he looked at the sub and he feel unsafe. But that's the same thing as that's as much scientific as any regular person look at a Cessna and feel like that's a really small plane compared to the passenger airliner and then claim it's unsafe. I mean, he didn't really have like a scientific basis as far as like detail of what he see. And listen to this part, which I that's also another thing that Dad mentioned why he think the CEO is not safe.
Stockton, yeah, I think his heart was in the right place, and he really was passionate about his project, and he believed everything he was saying. But one of the things that concerned me was he told me he was flying in to see me, and he was landing at North Las Vegas Airport, which is an odd selection. Most people that come in privately come into either McCarran, which is now Harry Reid International, or they come into Henderson Executive. And I asked him why, and he said he was coming in on a two-seater experimental plane that he built. And I started to think about he's coming in on a two-seater experimental plane to pitch me out to go on a five-seater experimental sub that he built down to the ocean floor to see the Titanic. And it was just he has a different risk appetite than I do. I'm a pilot. I have my helicopter pilot's license. I wouldn't get into an experimental aircraft.
I mean, yeah, Sean, when you think about what happened here.
So I look him up and let's see. It says somewhere it says the experimental plane he has is the Glass Air 3. Um, there are plenty of experimental plane. Don't let the name. It's pretty safe and it just means experimental. Just means you build it yourself, but it's not really experimental. Meaning it's just a kit you put together. Uh, So I don't think that's a really basis. I know if you know much about experimental and I think what intrigued me is it made me want to study exactly the detail of what kind of tests he did and the engineering behind the submarine. I think this goes the same as a plane crash, just like when plane crash people. And if since this is a new and accident happened, people automatically think, "Oh, it's not proven." Just like when Kobe crashed his plane, people just say, "Oh, you're not supposed to fly in fog. That's why they crashed." So I think it's oversimplification. And one last thing is that this go to show that if you or I want to be a pioneer, I better make sure it works because probably nobody will remember. I know he made some bold statement and just because because the accident, so those statements just make him appear to be a daredevil and unsafe. Um, so if you're gonna be an innovator, I would better make sure I stay alive because nobody will know the story. I will just be remembered as a daredevil and someone who deserve it because I didn't do the work to be safe and just get myself killed. So uh, but compared to say Elon Musk, I'm sure there are plenty people that will defend him and